we go. So how is everybody today? If you're jumping on here or you're watching this in replay, make sure and tag yourself. I'm trying to see if I can see who's jumping on here on live. But we want to make sure if you're jumping on here, do a shout out, give us your name. There we go. Adjust our camera here for our notes. Give us a shout out who you are, where you're at. Why don't we do this morning, just because we've got some crazy temperatures here in Augusta, Georgia today, and I think I heard that it's going to reach another record for today. But down below, why don't you tell us who you are, what you're doing, your business, your industry, a little bit about yourself. Tell us what the temperature's like where you're at. I know we're going to have a whole lot of Augusta people on here, but go ahead and share that. What's your day look like? Of course, true Inspired style, we also want to hear your celebrations. We're right here at the end of the week, or what we like to say at Inspired, we're actually starting our next week. So we want to hear those wins that you've had since the last time, over the last week. It could be personal, it could be professional. What roadblocks have you busted through this week to move you closer and closer to your brag, your big, radical, audacious goal? So share with that. These are the things that as a community, and that's what we're trying to build here with Inspired Nation and also on the Inspired Experience, we're looking to have you guys start connecting together, not just be, people out on Facebook and all these professionals are coming into the group. And yet we still have a lot of people that don't know each other. So we want to make sure and start building those connections with one another. So I'm excited about today's topic because the other day when I was talking, I talked about, let's just explore the thought process of what would it look like if referral marketing was part of your business growth strategy? What kind of difference would that make in your business? And so I shared with you a lot of testimonials from that people, clients, power partners, strategic alliances of Inspired, what they said that referral marketing has done for their business. And so today we're going to kind of add on to that a little bit, because it's one thing to sit and say, what could referral marketing do for you? And it's quite another with having actual steps to actually get you there. So what I want to do is just kind of break down just a very simplistic, and I mean that what I'm going to share with you today is a simple look at how we here at Inspired actually move our clients through implementing a referral marketing strategy. And obviously I'm not going to be sharing all of this here on this. You guys would probably unplug and I wouldn't have you anymore on here. But I am going to break it down what the essence are. And I'm going to adjust the camera here just so that we make sure you guys are seeing all of the flip chart, and I'll back it up just a little bit to make sure everybody can see that. So one of the things that I tell people that who is usually attracted to implementing a referral marketing strategy, what does that professional look like? Well, I get a lot of times people go, well, what industries do you like to work with, Amy? And for me, yes, I could go through and tell you specific industries that implement this program well, but it's more about the challenges a professional has that this offers a solution to. And so the clients that I work with a lot of different types of industries that are out there. But how I work with them is really a very similar system that I take all of them through, all of the process to move them from not really, they want to have growth development. They desire to grow their business using referrals. But there's one thing of saying, like, I would want to have it. I'm attending networking events. Nothing is happening the way that I thought it would, or it looks like it's working better for other people than for me. And so one of the things I like to do is just describe the person that typically we tend to work with here, and that we've been able to help have a lot of those success stories that we shared with you in our last session here. And so one of them is really, first of all, I will just tell you, it's about attitude, okay? First of all, you've got to have a positive forward-thinking attitude. Like, you've got to want to move forward, because sometimes in order to move forward, you're going to run right up against a roadblock. You're going to run right up against sometimes self-imposed roadblocks. They're going to be those mind challenges that you put in front of you. There are going to be things that will take some of you outside of your comfort zone. So, we all know that when you run up against something and it's yourself that is holding you back, then the one thing that you want to do is you got to want it more than the challenge that's holding you back. Like, you've got to want that success on the other side of it. And that is what allows us to keep driving through. When we, today in our mastermind group, we talked about those moments when you're telling everybody about your big brag and what you want to do and your plans and your passion and your purpose, and you swear they just take a pin out and it's like pop, right? And you just feel completely deflated. Let me tell you what gets you past the deflation is, how bad do you really want it? Like, you're going to have those moments. Like, if I can tell you right now, owning your own business, being in charge of your own success, chasing quotas, all of these things, you're going to hit roadblocks. And some of them, yes, are going to be self-imposed, but some of them you'll have absolutely no control over. Like, there will just be life events, there'll be family events, circumstances, whatever. There will be some things that people will say yes to you or no to you that have nothing to do with you or your product or services. I had a client this very week, and she's had some pretty rough no's lately, and it's one thing for me to sit and say, it's okay, just keep going. But we all know what it's like sometimes to hear those no's. And while, yes, in our mind, we can sit and go, well, they weren't meant to be a part of our tribe, or they weren't meant to hold, my product or services. And it's okay, because there's people out there that are going to say yes to me. And we know that, right? We know it. But that still doesn't make it easy sometimes to hear those no's, especially when you're at the point in your business where you really need to hear a yes, right? And so that's one of the things that I love about building referral marketing is, in order to build a referral marketing strategy, it takes other people that have to become part of your success story. And in those moments, when you are at your lowest of low, or you want to share your brag with someone, we really want to make sure you're surrounded around people who actually want to be a part of that success story, that want you to achieve those goals, people who are excited with you, people who are there with you when you hit those roadblocks, people who will look at that roadblock and think, that's not a roadblock, let me tell you how to get past that. And we know that that's what's out there. So let me tell you, referral marketing is an incredible way of growing your business, because it's not just a growth development plan. It's a true, what I call, holistic support approach to maintaining and growing your business. And it's something that if you do it right, it's down the road, years and years and years benefits back to your bottom line and to you as a professional. I know that I have had some incredible relationships over the years of people who have been there, literally have watched me grow up in my career and watched me reach different challenges. And it's really fun for me to actually go back and sit down with some of my earlier, I won't say oldest, but my earlier strategic partners. And, I forget sometimes how far I've come in my career until I actually sit back and realize I'm talking to someone that knew me when I was way back when, or I wore a different hat. And so, so sometimes it's fun just to watch where your milestones have taken you. So let me get to what I wanted to talk about today. Is there are some steps or some things that you can do, and this is really to understand whether or not referral marketing is a solution for you. And if so, what does that process look like? So this is really an overview. So my first question to you, and the first thing I think anybody has to do if you're exploring any kind of new program you're adding to your business, the first is being ready to discover. Being ready to discover for us here at Nspired means learning everything that you can about the process that you're going to be investing your time, your money, your energy, even the direction you might be taking your company. Like, it could have an influence or an impact on your business that you really need to understand. Is this the impact I want to have on it? Is this going to take me in the direction I want to go in? And so, of course, during the discovery phase, here at Nspired, we also use this as our discovery phase to get to know our clients. So this would be a really good time for you to really sit down and take that good look at your business. Now, if you're looking at referral marketing for the first time, watching the videos that I've been putting out there, the Unlock the Power of Referral Marketing, that's a great place to go look. Go Google and see about referral marketing. Go check out articles that are out there that talk about the power of networking, the power of referral marketing, the power of leveraging your expertise in who you are and how do you work on your business while working in your business. There's a ton of information out there. So we believe that you need to make sure you're ready to discover and go do your research, because here at Nspired, what we do is, like, once you're in this thing, commit to it. Commit to the full engagement that it will take to actually implement the strategy. I will tell you, I've had clients, I've had friends, I've had colleagues that I say they tiptoe into referral marketing and yet expect the same experience as someone who fully engages and jumps in. And you guys know that there will never be the same success records with that. It takes, whether or not you're doing any type of strategy for your business, whether or not it is marketing, if it's your HR, your onboarding, whatever it is, you have to create a system. And by creating a system, it allows you to measure whether or not you're moving forward, or you have milestones. You're able to see how you're implementing it. You're also able to create systems that work for your business, work for your personality style. So the Nspired method, and what we say here, is we break it down to the way we approach building a strategy. Our referral marketing strategy when we're working with a client is the first phase that we talk about is you got to build it first, right? Like, you have to take the time and build it. Let me get the right markers here. And I know that my handwriting is really bad when I am live, so I went ahead and pre-wrote some of this here. But we want you to think about, you got to build it first, okay? And there's a couple of ways that I believe that phases that you go through while you are building a referral marketing strategy. The first is that we talk about is, one, you have to be ready to shift, okay? You got to be ready to shift your mindset, especially if you've been so entrenched into one method, or you've been taught only one method. Like, cold calling is the only way you can grow your business. Lead generation is the only way you can do it. Door knocking, whatever it is. When it comes to referral marketing, it is a shifting in the mindset. There are certain things that you will do differently. There will be a completely different approach to the way that you attend meetings, the conversations that you have, the lunches that you will set up, the way that you will use your social media, the post that you will post, who you will connect with on LinkedIn, how you will search for the connections that you would like to connect with. It's more about shifting from looking at an individual as a transaction, instead looking at your connections more as a Rolodex. And I realize I just probably dated myself there, but yes, that's the way I think. I think about a Rolodex. I say when I walk into a room, it's like everyone has this big bubble above their head. And some people walk into the room, I'll say most people walk into a room, and they're looking, especially at a business networking event, and they just see dollar signs or transactions over each person's head. This is a person who potentially could become a client of mine. And we would take you through, when it builds a referral marketing strategy, is to take that shift and begin to recognize that everyone instead should have a Rolodex, or for my younger audience here, a contact management system. And so everyone has connections, whether it's their neighbors or their friends, their social media connections, their followers. It could be their clients. It could be, you know, their network that they're already in. People know other people that you potentially need to know. So how do we get there? Well, you got to make that shift. And which takes you to our next phase of building it is once you understand that there is a shift in the thought process, and this is a whole lot of terminology that you really need to, you know, embrace yourself with the fact that there are words you will use in referral marketing that, you know, would not have fit in sales mode. And there are words that in sales mode that you just need to leave off the table when it comes to referral marketing. You know, I always tell everybody, I hate the word cold callings and leads. I love the word referrals. I love the word recommendations and introductions. And so this is really about just owning that your words have the power to change your bottom line. Think about that. Your words have the power to change your bottom line, okay? So there is a mindset of learning the terminology that you have so that you can build it correctly. And then, of course, we believe here you have to be ready to identify, and make sure everybody can see all that, ready to identify. One of the things we want you to do is to understand the difference, and I covered this in one of the Unlocking the Power of Referral Marketing. Identify the difference between anyone and everyone, even breaking it down from just a target market to an ideal client base, okay? And I really covered the fact that there is a system. There are some things that you can, you know, begin to identify what makes someone an ideal client for you. And of course, on a very simplistic look at it, I always say, is the person that you enjoy the product or service that you are providing them. It also is someone who makes you money. Yes, a client that actually makes you money, has an effect or an impact on your bottom line. And I always say, and then if you add the third level to it, they also refer you. So they're part of your growth development plan. So of course, wouldn't it be important in, you know, in the very beginning stages of referral marketing is to identify what is that ideal client for you so that you can begin to use your words to describe that to others so they can begin to bring them to you. We call this the boomerang effect. When what you throw out there is what you want to generate right back to you. Now, that brings us to our third point. And this is ready to build, okay? Ready to build. In this phase, we understand that when you begin to identify this is the type of client I'm looking for, yes, you could go out there and you could begin to look for your target market. But then that sounds a lot like cold calls or lead generation. Remember, we're making that shift. And in order to make that shift, we have to be ready to build. We need to be ready to build your referral generators. This is where we begin to shift people from being contacts or just being in your network into actually being a part of your referral generation program. And that means there's 3 different ways, and I've shared this on some prior videos over the last week, 3 different ways that you can begin to build a referral generators list, okay? And these are people who ultimately will be turned from being industries into actually being these referral makers for you, the people who will make those recommendations and introductions on your behalf. And we all know that referrals give you closer. If you look at the sales funnel, referrals bring you in a lot closer and a lot higher closing ratio in the sales funnel. So we love referrals, and of course, we want to make sure and build our referral generation list correctly, because the more time you spend in the upfront, it's the easier it gets on the other side of it. And I'll show you a little bit about what I mean with that. Now, once you've built the foundation to your referral strategy, the fun really begins. And at this point, let's make sure I've got the right one. We want you to think about it being ready to actually execute execute your strategy. Look, it's not all about taking classes and theory. It's about actually getting out there and really moving through the process and finding what works for you, and you know, whether or not different personality styles, you know, what are the type of events do you like to go to? How do you connect and how do you train? And all of these things. Some of this you will never know what you're good at and what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are until you actually get out there and do it, right? And so I don't know about you, but I learned a whole lot of things in college, but I learned a whole lot more when I began to get out there and start working and trying things. I always say I'm at where I'm at today with every step I took, the ones that were backwards, the ones that were sideways, the ones that were painful, the tiptoes, the leaps, all of that, right? We learn by doing. So in the execution phase of building a referral marketing strategy, you must be ready to invite. So once we've told you who your target market is and worked with you to identify your target market, and we've helped you build a referral generation list of people that you can actually build your business with, now you got to start inviting them. You have to start inviting them to strategy sessions. You have to start inviting them to one-to-ones. You have to start inviting them to sit down, and you begin to take them through what we call here at Nspired the wanting, willing, and able to be able to recommend and introduce you. Okay, so you got to start that process. I have a couple of tips out there. One of my favorites is my always get a yes, my always get a yes technique, which really helps you turn this list into real people who want to be a part of your success story. And then, of course, the next phase of execute is ready to engage. Once you've invited them in, you begin to engage into this relationship where you begin to train one another on, you know, your trigger words, on what a great referral for you really looks like, how to bring me up, how do you recommend me, if you see it on social media, this is how you recommend me, if you hear a client say this is when you can bring me up. And so it's really through this phase where you're engaging into the referral relationship, where you are building the foundation of your future bottom line, right? This is the way you're going to grow your business. So it's not about exchanging just a business card and a handshake. It really takes more than that. And there's a lot of different ways you can do in that engagement. We've talked about one-to-ones. Maybe it's a mastermind group. It could be a weekly meeting where you're fully engaged into to seeing each other on a regular basis. You know, so there's all different ways in which you can engage into this relationship. But it is a necessary piece to the referral marketing strategy. It's not enough just to sit out there and identify who you want. You actually have to go out there and train them how to properly bring you up. So then, of course, an execution is ready to execute. Now, what do I mean by that? So there is a point, and I shared, again, we've been really putting a lot of trainings out here, but there was one I shared with you about the different levels of strategy sessions. And in that, I broke down the wanting, willing, and able phases. And so at the level in which you have gotten someone to say, yes, I'd love to sit down and start this process, explore, discover what it would look like if we were going to potentially refer one another. Then you go through the phase of teaching each other how to do that. And yes, it should be communicating back and forth. This isn't a one-way relationship. This should be a win-win relationship into your referral marketing. But once someone has been fully equipped on how to make that recommendation introduction and they begin to do so, what you're going to find is that you're going to all of a sudden find something that's in common with some of your referral generators. It could be your target market, it could be your industry, and as these relationships continue to build, this wonderful thing starts happening. You're going to begin to identify certain people that you can be extremely strategic with. People who are willing to do joint workshops with you, people who are willing to do joint marketing with you. They're willing to work a table for you when it's just you yourself. These are people who are willing to go out and brag on you and leave testimonials on your social media. Heck, they're even willing to hit that invite button and invite people to your events and invite people to your page. They're willing to go out there and work a networking event with you on your behalf and vice versa. At this point, what I love about Ready to Execute is you're executing the potential of this strategic alliance that you have truly built with another referral generator. So you're going to have a lot of people who could potentially refer you, but it's just like your friends in life. You're going to have a few that you're really going to be working your business with. Now, not to say that I don't get referrals from a lot of different sources. I do, but I will tell you my ongoing referrals that I can count on these referral partners really is down to what I call a micro group. And I love when I can surround myself with these people because they're amazing business owners in their own right. And so it's always fun to watch how our brains work together and figure out how we can keep taking our business to the next level. And of course, that's really the phase you want to get to, because once you're reaching that phase, I always tell people, referral marketing is just easy at that point. I mean, referrals just seem like they just start coming out of from nowhere, right? And that's really where you want to get. And so, of course, once you have all that in place, the last phase, and I'm not sure if everyone can see how low this is. Let's see got two cameras going, so we're going to make sure. So just in case, down here at the bottom, the last one is build it, execute it. So we talk about here, build it, execute it. Okay, and then we want to repeat it, right? How many of you have taken classes or taken a strategy and then you reach it and then you have to continue to take more and then you have to take more and you have to take more? What I love about referral marketing, it's about building it, executing, and then repeating the parts of it that really work for you, that drive the results that you're looking for. And I always say that is when you begin to execute the fundamentals of your strategy flawlessly, right? They become so ingrained into the way that you grow your business, you'll even forget that you're actually doing referral marketing. In fact, I tell people all the time, I actually struggle more in sales mode now than I do in referral marketing. Like, I have a hard time doing an elevator speech versus a referral call to action, because I've been so used to training professionals on how to help me generate a referral for my business that is just the way that I think. It's the way that I engage with other business professionals. So I'm always looking for solutions, and I'm always looking for different ways we can get in front of other people. Now, once you do that, you're ready to maintain. So the last step, step number 8, you are ready to maintain this strategy. And I promise you, it really looks a lot like this. And I will draw here. So forgive my drawing. This is really what it looks like, okay? During the process of building a referral marketing strategy, it's like going up a mountain, and you're going to hit all these different roadblocks. And what I love about it is you're going to be collecting people along the way, people that are going to help you up this mountain. But be aware, you're also going to see some people going down. Like, they're going to give up before they reach their success story. Like, they're going to give up and say, referral marketing's not for me. This group's not for me. You're going to find people, you're going to come be a part of our success story, and let's work together. And you're going to find that some people will never have the same stamina that you have. They'll never have that same excitement that you have. And you're going to find out more about who that true person is, and you're going to realize this isn't someone I actually want in my success story. They're actually holding me back, and I need to let them go in order to keep moving forward. There are going to be times I tell people it's going to feel like you are walking through quicksand when you are building a referral marketing strategy. You're going to, I always say your legs are going to burn. There are going to be times you're going to be tired. You are not going to want to go do a strategy session. You're not going to want to get up from your desk and go to a networking event. Trust me, I know. But what I have found is when I kept moving forward, when I kept pushing forward, when I actually looked at this as a necessary tool for my business, a cool thing started to happen. I began to generate referrals. And when I did that, I found that over time, it became more like a snowball effect. And I began to generate referrals from other referrals and from my referral partners. And I began collecting more people who wanted to be part of my success story. And then all of a sudden, I found that I wasn't having to spend quite as much time in actually the hard part of developing your referral marketing strategy. I was actually spending more time in being able to service my client, close more business, have my ideal client base, create a more balanced work and personal lifestyle. How many of you would that make a difference in your business? And I'm telling you, it is absolutely possible. I've been training this for over 20 years of teaching people not just how to go be part of a group, not just how to come in and go to another meeting, but actually how to use your words and really think about who it is that you need in that room. Who do you need to be meeting with? Who do you need to be talking with? How do you use your words to drive the results, to get you up that mountain where you are creating the referrals for your business, so which allows you to work in your business and on your business at the same exact time. Now, if this intrigues you at all, I'll be offering you guys a chance to actually learn a little bit more about this process I'm talking about. Wednesday night, Sunday night. Let me make sure I got all the dates right. Sunday night at 8 o'clock, we are going to have a private VIP webinar, and I'm going to put the link down below so that you can go out there and click on that. You must be registered to actually see the information we're going to be doing. What I'm going to do, and I always like to be extremely transparent, so I know other traditional salespeople right here would be like, what is she doing? But here's the deal. I'm telling you on the webinar on Sunday night, I'm going to break down the two processes that I usually, when I'm sitting down with a client and I see where they want to go, I always say, okay, how's the best way for me to get them there? And then quite frankly, ask them what their budget is. And depending on those two things, I always give them one process over another. They're both ultimately going to get the person right here. But how we get them there is going to be completely different. Also, it allows me to talk about personality styles. It allows me to talk about where you're at in your business. For some people, you're at just different phases in your business. Your need or urgency is going to be different. And I know that. So it's not about just plugging you into a system and saying this is going to work. It's about understanding what you actually need. So jumping on that webinar, you're going to be able to ask me questions, and I'm going to be able to tell you exactly how I think you can actually use some of the tools that I have. And then, of course, we're going to tell you how everything works here. And so if this doesn't appeal to you, then obviously you're not going to jump on the webinar anyhow. But if it does, and here's the deal, jump on, hear it. If it's not for you, that's okay. I am absolutely fine with that, because you know what? I know that I can only move people forward when they're ready to discover, when they're ready to shift, when they're ready to make those changes in their business. And the only way you can decide whether or not I'm a fit for you and the program that I have is a fit for you is to jump on Sunday night. I am going to just break it down very simply on how it actually works so that you can make an informed decision, just as if you and I were sitting right across the desk from each other and I was hearing what your problems and your challenges were, and I was to tell you the solution that I think was the best one for you. And then you can make a decision, is that actually working for you? And if the answer is yes, great. We'll get you started and we'll move forward. Now, I will tell you, I am loving the processes that we put together that is allowing me to work with more clients over technology than I ever could have before. And we just took an entire beta test through over the last 3 months, and the ahas and the testimonials and everything that's coming from that, I am so excited, because to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if me taking my experience of working with a client one-to-one, taking it out in this new format was going to have the same impact on my clients. Now think about that. That's what I was more worried about. Is it going to have the same impact on my clients? And I'm excited to say we are seeing not only the same, but even better impact. And that has got me really what I call stupid excited, right? Stupid excited. So I'm inviting you to join me and the Nspired team on Sunday night for a webinar. Guys, selling is not my thing. Educating, training, and being a part of your success story, well, that's what I'm really good at. So, of course, I look forward to having all of you who wish to discover what referral marketing would look like for your business to jump on there on Sunday night. I'm Amy D. Kilpatrick. I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to having some of you on the webinar. Thank you, guys. Talk to you later.